Okay, welcome to Grue, and thank you so much for taking time out of your night and coming on.
Hell yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course, buddy, yeah. So, like, the first thing I wanted to ask you is what I mean, it's probably a question that gets asked all the time is what drew you to want to act? Like, when did your passion start for it?
You know what? So my answer to that question has changed over the years because as I've been getting these questions, you know, one after the other,
Yeah.
I used to say that so the original story was like something where, I didn't find it till much later on and this and that. But the more I think about it, the more I've realized that I've always had it in me to want to
Mhm.
entertain. Like my earliest memories as a human being on this planet, like if you look at my baby pictures and stuff like that, like my earliest memories are of me like 3, 4 years old, um, in Hawaii in a karaoke lounge, where my parents would often take me to for their meetings and stuff like that. And I would just be on stage rocking out and just entertaining a whole karaoke lounge of like old, Asian, Japanese, Chinese, Korean
Yeah.
folk that are on vacation. You know what I mean? Um, and I just loved it. I loved being on stage. I love just like performing, and I just love bringing people joy. And the truth is that's been sort of a fabric that's carried over with me throughout my whole life.
Mhm.
And I just happened to stumble upon acting and storytelling and filmmaking much later on in my life. I didn't start till about, I was like 20, 21 years old.
Okay,
But
okay.
yeah, and then that paired with when I was a kid, I accidentally stumbled onto the set of Romeo Must Die. And seeing this alleyway lit up. This is an alleyway that I after school every day I'd cross with my dad
Mhm.
to go into the office for his restaurant business and all of that. To see the whole alleyway lit up and dressed as something totally different, it just kind of it did something to me, man. It made me realize that like, oh wow, cool. Like whatever that world is, I want to be a part of that some
Yeah.
way, somehow, you know. Um, and then, seeing guys like Jet Li and seeing these all of these Asian performers do that for a living, it just really struck a chord with me and it just made me very curious about that world. So long-winded answer to say that since I was a kid I always knew some way
Okay.
somehow I'd be entertaining, just not sure which platform, but I'm
Yeah,
glad
yeah,
I
exactly.
found it.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, okay.
truth
And
is I wanted to be a singer. I wanted to be like a Backstreet Boy or,
wait,
or
really?
rapper or just some sort of musical performer as a kid,
Oh,
but
nice.
I'm a much better actor than I am a singer or a rapper, so you can believe that.
Well, what is your go-to karaoke song when you're doing your singing?
You just had to put me on the spot, huh? Well, on that theme, I could knock out any Backstreet Boys song, any NSYNC
Oh,
song, like I said, since I wanted to be their sixth member. Um, for a while, I'd have to say it was like Bohemian Rhapsody. You know what I mean? You
yeah,
want a
yeah.
song that you can get everyone involved
Yes, definitely.
in. You don't want to be that one jerk off that just sings the song that no one else knows or no one else can sing along to. Um, but honestly, if it's like any song, oh man, it might be like Usher or something, like
All right.
nice and slow, or uh, you remind me of a girl or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, that's too tough. That's tough. I don't know. It's whatever is in the moment.
Okay, there you go.
Maybe some Whitney Houston. I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Nice, nice. And
What's
you
yours?
me,
Yeah.
probably don't don't stop believing
Nice.
because I all I have to do is sing like the first line, then everyone in the bar starts singing,
That's
and
right.
then
That's right.
I don't have to sing.
Smart. Smart. Yes. I'm gonna take a page from your book. I'm gonna, yeah, very nice.
Every single time I do that song when I'm at karaoke, like I'll sing like one or two lines and then everyone's singing and I'm like, okay. And then I just have the microphone up and they all start singing it. And then I'll put it to me to lip, lip, lip sing a word
Yeah.
and then give it back to them. And
Rocco, you are a true rock star, my friend. That's how it's done.
hey, a lot of rock bands are doing that now. They have the backing tracks and
Exactly.
they aren't
Exactly.
even singing live in concert
Right.
anymore. They have the backing tracks now that are doing it. So I have to do what they do.
Yeah, man. I love it.
And you were on the television show Kung Fu, the television show. And
Mhm.
did you have to learn anything for the show? Like, did you have to learn any fights or?
No, I didn't. Not for my character. No, I played a very successful clothing designer slash
Okay.
entrepreneur type guy that thankfully did not need to know any kung fu. Yeah, I said if you're gonna bring me on a show called Kung Fu, I will not be doing any of that, but I'll do
Okay.
everything else. So they're like, okay, sell clothes, and I was like, okay, say less.
That would have been awesome if you were selling clothes and then you beat someone up while you're selling them the clothes.
Yeah, I don't know. In this day and age, I don't know how much longevity would be in that business. The guy that beats up his
Right.
clientele. But hey, you know, there's cafes now and like restaurants where the novelty of these companies are that when you go in, they make fun of you and they berate you and they yell at you and stuff like that.
Oh
So
my God, really?
yeah, I think it's called like Karen's Diner or something like that. They're famous all over the world.
Really?
We had one here in Vancouver that was famous for a lot of the same things, and maybe there's a version of that where I sell you the clothes and then I beat you up, and that's the value in the product. You can say
Yeah,
you got beaten up
exactly.
by King Kwong. Yeah.
And and I'm like a really big horror fan, and I saw that you are definitely involved with some horror films. And
Yeah.
one of the earlier films, I didn't even know this was out. I definitely have to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Evil Feed.
Mm-hmm.
And like, what was your experience like with that? Was that like the first horror film that you filmed?
That was definitely my first. I think I had done like a zombie movie before that called Toxin 3D.
Okay, okay.
uh, but it was, I mean, it was one of my first movies, period. Um, but I think it was definitely my first horror, and that experience was wicked. I mean, um, I got to meet the director Kamani Ray Smith, Aaron Au. I think they're both co-directors, but it was their concept and
Mhm.
their world that they brought forth. And I've gotten to become really great friends with them over the years, and that was an experience that I'm really appreciative of. I got to meet a lot of really great people that are still in my life today. I got to
Okay.
work with people like Terry Chen, Sebastian Gecki, um, and Johnson Fan, my big brother, and I got to just see a lot of really great local performers that just got to just do their thing and just light it up. Everyone just brought such incredible performances to that film. It was it was more than just a horror film. It was a very heavy action based film, right?
Well,
It was
yeah,
like,
because I saw what the movie is about. Like it's about like fights,
This
and
underground
whoever
fighting. Yeah.
loses the fight gets like cooked
Yeah.
and eaten, right?
The film was like, I'd say it was like 60% action
Oh,
and
okay,
martial
okay.
arts and you know, just very gruesome uh fighting and people tearing each other apart, stuff
Yeah,
like that. You should watch it, man. It's a good one.
no,
It's an
I definitely
entertaining
am.
watch. Yeah.
Yeah, like when I saw like what the movie was about, I saw, oh my god, I never heard of this. I definitely have to see this movie.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt. Yeah, it
Nice.
was super fun, super gory.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, and super indie, you know, which taught
yeah,
me a
yeah.
lot as an indie filmmaker myself. It taught me how, you know, with just a bit of this brain power and, you know, a little bit of elbow grease, you can get a lot done and a lot accomplished. And it's a lot about relationships and, you know, community coming together. And that film was exactly that. It was like it was a big moment where like our stunts community came together to support Aaron and Kamani to make that film come to life, you know. And I thought they did a great job with it. Yeah.
Oh man, all right, yeah, I'm definitely gonna say yeah. And
Yeah, you should.
yeah, for sure. You're also part of uh Dead Rising film. Did you ever play the video game for that?
I have. Yeah. Um I was, I mean, great research. I was in that film for about a total of 10 seconds, I think.
Are you serious?
uh yeah, but yeah, I have played the video game. I played it just before I started shooting on that project. But
Okay.
yeah, that was kind of in my earlier days. I got a great little part working opposite of Dennis Haysbert, who's like a legend. Um, you know, the Allstate guy.
Yeah, definitely.
Um,
Yeah.
and and yeah, that was just really cool just working with just someone as iconic as him.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And you're also like you've done a lot of shows with Titans and Arrow and Suit and S- Supergirl.
Mhm.
So what's it like? What's it like being on set for huge iconic shows like that? Like, I mean, you're in that world now, like the
Mhm.
Supergirl world, the Arrowverse. Like,
Yes.
you're actually in that.
Yeah, it's pretty wild when I think about it. Yeah, I've been very blessed to have seen many different sort of angles of the DC verse. It honestly, I mean, I worked on Supergirl the most.
Yeah.
Titans, I was just I played a character that was just in that one episode, but yeah, the Supergirl world was where I kind of cut my teeth, man. Like that was the first show that I worked with a director. His name was Derek. Sorry, not Derek. David McWhirter, and it was my first experience working on a set where the director really came up to me and was so nice and like
Mhm.
shook my hand and like wanted to get to know me and he was asking me all of these questions and I didn't really understand it at the time, but what I realized after the fact was that he was really just trying to make me feel comfortable and you know he wanted to give me sort of agency to do my best.
Okay.
And when I look back in hindsight, you know, I owe so much to that man because he really just gave me permission to just enjoy myself and just have fun, you know, especially in a world like that where it's very fun, you know, working in the DEO, working with Supergirl, working with, you know, cast like Kyler and David. Oh no, you're putting me on the spot, David. Um, I'm gonna get back to you on the name. Shoot,
Okay.
you're gonna have to cut that out. But so that I mean, every episode had something different in store. You know what I mean? So that was the main thing that was really cool about that show is that episode they were trying to, push the envelope and make it more exciting than the last. And I got to work with Kevin Smith twice.
Yes.
And you know, Kevin, he's the homie, man. He's one of the best directors I've ever worked with. Like, just such an iconic legend.
Oh my God,
Obviously,
yes.
he's a big comic guy.
Yeah.
So when you have a leader like that sort of, steering your ship, it makes everything easier, right? But he's just such a cool, down to earth guy that I also got to learn a lot from him. You know what I mean? I was constantly just asking him questions and constantly just picking his brain and stuff like that. And he always really championed me. So yeah, man, it was really cool, really cool.
Oh, that definitely sounds like it. I was I like that show too.
Yeah,
Supergirl, and then when they said it was over, I was like, damn, really? Come on now.
I
But,
know. What,
but
but you know what? It did its thing though. It
yeah, yeah, it
it
did.
lasted however many seasons,
Yeah.
and so many stories were told.
Oh yeah,
Hell of
definitely.
an arc for Supergirl and her team. But for me personally, I don't know, I don't remember how many episodes I did. I did maybe like 8 or 9,
Hmm.
and I got to do so many different things, and I got to flex so many different muscles on that
Yeah,
show where I had a lot of action that I did. I had some funny moments. I had some very tender, sweet, sad moments.
yeah.
You know, I had my techie moments where I had to blurt out pages of friggin' tech dialogue, which
Yeah.
I'm not the best at. So I like I said, I that was like my training camp in many ways for for working in TV.
And is it true? Like I see reverse the film. You
Yeah.
filmed that in 1 week? Like I was reading something about that.
Yes. Sorry, before we get to that, David Harewood. Oh man, legend. Shout outs to David Harewood. Can't believe it. Yeah, I knew it started with an H. I just had to make sure. But David Harewood, man, British legend, English legend.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if you've seen him in Blood Diamond, but man, that guy is an incredible actor. Um, Sorry. So Reverse. Yes, we. So Reverse was the product of. It was comprised by my production company called Soon Films.
Mhm.
Soon is an acronym for something out of nothing. Uh, and Dear Hero Studios, which are both here in Vancouver, which is where I'm currently at right now. And uh, we team. It was like a super team of local Asian talent
Oh, okay.
here in Vancouver. So we all teamed up. So it was us, my partner Paula Valdez, who wrote the story, and we teamed up
Mhm.
with Josh Aries, who's this incredible director from here as well, and we had our cinematographer Mark Youngco. So we had beasts in every department, you know. But we entered this competition here called the Mighty Asian Movie Marathon, where
Oh, nice.
you get a week to write, shoot, and edit a film. Yeah. So
Wow.
we we wrote it in a night and we shot it over the course of 3 days, and then we had you know the rest of our timeline to edit it. So it was definitely a mountain to
That's
kind of get
really
over,
tough
but
to do that in a week.
it was one of the most fulfilling experiences of my life, most
Oh
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, and it was my first array in. It was my first time kind of jumping into that more kind of martial arts space where,
Mhm.
man, I had a bruised rib going into that shoot, and it was so painfully frustrating because I couldn't really do much,
Yeah.
and I would still show up to the fight choreography
Okay.
and the rehearsals and all that kind of stuff. But I was just really just watching, man, and I was like sidelined, but I was really, really watching and just praying every single day that the pain would go away. And literally the day before we had to shoot, the pain just magically went away. It just disappeared. And I don't know what happened, but I just, it was like someone took over my body and I
Yeah.
somehow was able to download all of those moves and all of that choreography and be able to do it in like 1 or 2 takes on the day. Cause I mean, you're a producer, you know how stressful things can be on sets and stuff like
Yes.
that. And,
Yes.
shooting 12, 13 pages that's full of action is a very, very ambitious endeavor. And so we had very, very little time, very, very little money, but we had all the heart and the
Oh yeah.
drive and ambition and dedication from top down, everybody all across the board. The entire cast and crew was just so phenomenal on that project. So I'm very, very grateful for, our community. That was now my community that all came together to back me up and my fellow collaborators. And so we owe everything to our crew and the cast that came on board for that one because everyone just showed up and just showed out.
Wow. Like just to film that in 1 week, that's so impressive.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. 3 days.
Yeah, I know that's crazy. And you're the
Hats off to the stunt and the fight choreographers because they came up with all of that in like a day,
okay.
and everyone was able to just pick up the moves so quickly. So everyone, yeah, I mean, shout outs to Roar Lee, shout outs to Josh had a big part of that as the director, but shout outs to man, the whole crew really, Vic, shout outs to yeah, shout outs to Leslie, my boy. Like we had a great, great crew.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. And on the show, Siren, like what was it like filming the pre pre proposal scene?
What was it like shooting the proposal scene?
Yeah.
It was it was surreal. It was surreal. It was some of my best acting to date. No,
Yeah,
uh,
definitely.
no, because you know I try to treat it as real as possible, right? And
Yeah.
so that particular scene, we had about I don't know 40, 50 background performers
Hmm.
there that day to fill up the room to make it look like it was like a big party and a big event and all.
Okay.
And so it's one of those things where I feel like everyone's judging you because everyone is watching how you're going to propose. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So it was definitely nerve wracking. Um, but Hannah and I, the actress that plays Janine, we had such a great relationship that we developed over the 3 seasons that we did that, or I guess 2 seasons prior to that. But we really came together and we really, I think, leaned on each other and trusted each other, and we knocked that scene out of the park.
Oh, definitely.
Thankfully. Um, but yeah, I was very excited about doing that scene because I was very, very happy for Calvin, the character that I played on the show.
Hmm.
Came a long way to get to that point in that moment.
Exactly. Yes.
So it was very celebratory, and thankfully we had Joe Menendez directing that episode, and Joe is just such a sweet, lovely man who I credit as someone that was very, very influential in my growth and development as well. And that scene, yeah, it could have been so much worse, but it went really, really well, you know. So I'm very, yeah, that's got a soft spot in my heart for sure.
Oh, of course. Yeah. I mean, it was a really great scene, and you both nailed it. So yeah, definitely,
Thank you, man.
definitely. And you're what what did you like best about being part of and filming the 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 night agent?
Oh man, great questions. Where do I begin? Um, well, you know what? First of all, it was a blast working with, Gabriel and Luciani,
Hmm.
who played Peter and Rose on the show. Um, Getting to work with legends like Sean Ryan, you know,
Yeah.
that that was huge and meant a lot to me. For me, it was about, thankfully we had the scripts ahead of time. And so I was really able to kind of sit with it and really carve out this character.
Okay.
I knew that I had one objective, and it was to bring as much truth as I could and sort of realism to the relationship that he had with Peter.
Hmm.
But I wanted to make him as likable as possible so that have you seen the show?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't want to spoil anything, but something happens where it's a bit unfortunate. And so I knew that I had one job, and that was to make him as likable as possible so
Yes.
that the audience could come on this journey with him and them as in, like, Peter, Luciani, sorry, Peter, Rose, um, and feel the feels, you know what I mean? And I think the coolest thing for me was to work so hard at trying to hit that target. And I guess from what I've seen in terms of the responses from people all over the world,
Yeah.
um, we pulled it off. You
Oh,
know,
you definitely did. Yes.
like we, when we shot the show, we thought it was we knew it was gonna be good, but you can never predict what shows pop and what don't.
That's
And
true.
never in a million years did any of us expect the show to rise and just explode the way that it did. You know what I
Oh, it
mean?
did.
It literally kind of just took off like a rocket from day one, and it's just been this roller coaster ride for all of us that have been a part of this amazing show. So that's the coolest thing for me to know how hard we worked on that show, and to see the hard work actually be appreciated. Yeah, but yeah, I love doing all the action stuff as well. That was a lot of fun.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
And what do you like doing during your free time when you're not acting and filming?
Um, what do I like to do in my free time? What's free time? Uh, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I have nothing but free time. Too much free time. I don't know what to do with myself. Uh, I suppose I like to keep fit, so
Okay.
I love kickboxing. I like boxing. I like playing tennis.
Nice.
Played my sort of thing that I like to do to unplug and get away is I like playing tennis with my dad. And I
Okay.
just I just picked up playing basketball again, which I'm regretting today. I had a game yesterday that wasn't so great. But yeah, I'm doing all of these things that fill me up that I used to love as a kid, such as basketball, such as fighting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, um, and I love seeing my friends and family, you know, traveling maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I've become quite well traveled over the last few years, which I'm very grateful of. Big the pandemic had a big part of that. So
Yeah.
um, I love traveling. You know, gives you great perspective in life, and it's just such an exhilarating experience when you're just by yourself in a foreign land and you have nothing to lean on other than your own knowledge and your wits and your whatever money you have in your back pocket. You know what I mean? I guess some people would call that backpacking. I don't do the backpacking, but I'll gladly do all that in a 5-star hotel.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah. I love camping just in a 5-star hotel, if you know what I mean. That's my yeah, that's about as adventurous as I get. But
You'll be the one from the room looking at everybody in the tents, right?
exactly. I'll thug it out with everyone, and then after a certain point, I'm like, listen, guys,
I'm going to bed.
I'd love a shower, maybe some room service, maybe some HBO. See you guys in the morning. I'll be the first one up.
There you go. And I know you're pressed for time, so I'm gonna ask like one final question.
Oh yeah,
And
all good.
Like I was telling you earlier, I'm a big horror guy, and I like asking guests this when they're on. Are there any horror films that you like watching?
Well, first of all, when you say horror, okay, what
Yeah.
what kind of horror films are you into?
What kind I'm into? I
Yeah.
like slasher horror, like
Okay.
the Freddy and Jason,
Yeah.
that kind of horror. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Well, I think we're probably around the same age. So you know, I I grew up watching the slasher horrors.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
screams. I know what you did last summers.
Yeah.
I don't know because you're on the East Coast, is it?
Yeah, Philly.
Philly, Philly, stand up. So I I don't know if you guys had like the black box growing
Oh
up,
yes.
right?
Yes. Yeah.
So we didn't have cable, so we just had this black box. So all we could really watch was whatever channels that we could pick up off of our neighbors and this and that illegally, right? I hope the feds aren't watching. But the upside to this black box was that we got all of the pay-per-view channels for free.
Yeah. Yes.
So all of the new movies that came out, I would watch like 1,000 times because that's really all I could watch, right? So I watched, like I said, I know what you did last summer, probably about 1,000 times. I've seen all the Screams, I've seen all the Freddys and the Jasons and all of that, the Halloweens and all that. But yeah, I'm more into like psychological thrillers.
Oh, okay. Nice. Nice.
Yeah. Not for any other reason than like, you know, sometimes it's not that one is too scary or whatever. Like I don't do ghost horrors. Okay. Let me be clear about that. I can't do ghost horrors just because that's a little too out there for me. But psychological thrillers. And what
Okay.
do I mean by psychological thrillers or horrors? Um, Gone Girl.
Oh, I saw that. Yes.
Not a
That was
horror
crazy.
at all, but that movie scared
No.
the living crap out of me because it's real.
Yeah, that was a crazy film.
I
That
know
really was.
I know people like that,
Oh.
or sorry, I've known people like that. And so that movies like that scare me way more than any slasher or horror film, any zombie horror film. But sorry, I digress. I love fun horror movies as well.
Okay.
So I don't know. Uh, Let me see. Is it Dawn of the Dead?
Oh yeah, yeah.
The Tarantino one? Is that what it's called?
When you got Dawn of the Dead, you got
Sorry,
the
Dusk Till Dawn.
Evil Dead from Dusk Till Dawn. Yeah,
From
that's
Dusk Till
that's
Dawn.
that's
Sorry,
Quentin
that's
Tarantino. Yeah.
just really fun uh zombie movies or vampire movies.
Yeah. From Dusk Till Dawn was the
Yeah.
vampires. Yeah.
I loved what's that Woody Harrelson one? with Jesse Eisenberg.
Oh God, yes.
Also,
Zombieland.
Zombieland, great
Yes.
film. Um, yeah, so I mean, I'm sometimes I'm so bad with movie titles sometimes, but yeah, just really fun, you know, and just and funny.
Yes, exactly.
And I'm actually working on my first feature this year that
Oh,
is
sweet.
going to be kind of an amalgamation of all of those films that I talked about, where it's got a lot of action in it. It's got comedy. It's got,
Okay.
you know, a bit of romance in it, but it's got a lot of heart. Um,
Oh, I love
so
it.
I'm excited to, and it's going to be a zombie movie, so it's got
Nice.
all of the elements that I love from my childhood.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Nice.
But now that you brought it up, man, I think I need to watch more horrors because I don't have much time to. I try to carve out as much time as I can to
Yeah,
watch
yeah,
more
of
movies
course.
specifically. I watch a lot of television because I work on a lot of. I do mostly TV.
Yeah.
I'm trying to watch more films now, so like, you know, I think I'm gonna, you know, go back and watch some more horrors.
Okay. There you go.
You've inspired me.
And is there anything coming up for you that you want to plug?
Um, I'm working on this show right now. This badass show called The Irrational, which will be coming out, I think, later on this year on NBC. Um, and speaking of horrors, uh, I have a really awesome episode of Creep Show coming out on Halloween.
Oh, really?
Yeah, uh, directed by, you know, a dear friend of mine now, John Esposito, who was one of the producers of From Dusk Till Dawn
Yes.
with
Yes.
George Clooney and Tarantino and all those guys. So he's a legend. Um, and obviously the show's creator, Greg Nicotero, he did
Hmm.
Walking Dead. So a really incredible team behind that project, and it's a really fun episode.
Oh,
Stars
nice.
myself and this you know, super talented actress, Christy Dinsmore, and yeah, like I think it comes out Halloween. So
Oh, that's awesome. I
I'm very
love it.
excited to jump into this genre space a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love that show. Like
yeah,
Creep Show is so good, and I even
it
love
is.
love the films too.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, we, like I said, I just got, I don't know if it's like official, but that's the last thing that I heard was that it's coming out
Oh man,
Halloween, which is so
nice,
perfect. And
nice.
wait, hold on. Oh my God. Who I've totally forgotten that alongside Christy Dinsmore, we have we have a horror legend in our episode as well.
Oh really?
Yes, sir. And I don't want to get the name wrong, but we have the one, the only. Shit. Sorry, give me 1 second. 1 second. I'm gonna find it for you. I'm gonna find it for you. We can edit this, right?
Yeah.
I'm just seeing if the episode has been put out there yet. Okay, it hasn't. Um, sorry, bear with me here.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh my God. So, oh, one. Uh, Of course. By the way, my episode of Creep Show, not only is it starring Christy Dinsmore, it is featuring a horror legend, Mr. Tom Atkins himself.
Oh, nice.
He's he's been in several integral films of
Yes.
the genre in the 80s and 90s. But man, he's a little bit older now, but he is still sharp as a tack
Really?
and so much fun to work with.
Oh,
um
that's
I got
awesome.
to kick it with him for like a full week, and
That's awesome.
and just an absolute pleasure to work with. Just hilarious, smart, incredible actor. And so him and I got to go head to head, toe to toe, in several scenes. So I
Oh,
can't wait for everybody to
sweet.
watch that.
Damn, I am looking forward to this one.
The OG, the OG.
Yeah, definitely.
I think
Yeah.
he was in the original Creep Show.
I I think so, yeah.
I mean he's known for like the Halloweens and stuff like that,
Well, yeah,
but
of
I think
course.
he was in the original Creep Show, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh man, yeah. This episode is gonna be sick.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
And where could fans follow you at?
Uh, so as far as social media goes, I'm just on Instagram. You can find me Curtis Lum or Handsome Lum, and yeah, that's where I, you know, plug all my new projects and stuff like that, and where people can reach out to me, and I'm quite social on there. So
Sweet,
holla.
buddy. Well,
That's
thank
that's how you that's how you found me.
that's how I found you. I went on Instagram and
Well done,
I
sir.
contacted you
You slid in
and
my
now we're
DMs.
here doing this.
Yes, yes. And I'm glad we did, man.
I know, right? Exactly. Thank thank you again for doing this. I don't want to keep you anymore. I know you got something to do,
Oh, my
but
pleasure. Thanks for having me.
I really appreciate this. Thank you.
Yeah, and keep doing your thing, man. Well done on the show. It's incredibly successful. You've had so many incredible guests, and you really push the culture. So wanted to tip my hat off to you for doing
Oh,
such a great
thank you.
job, man. Keep it up.
Thank you. Thank
It's
you.
an
I
it's an honor
appreciate
to be
it.
on here.
Oh, thanks, man. Wow.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
I appreciate that a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it was a long time coming because I know we've been speaking for a while. So
Hmm.
I'm glad we could finally make it happen.
Of course, yes. And anytime you want to come back on, like we definitely come back. Probably we should definitely do when your episode comes out for Creep
Yeah,
Show.
yeah,
Definitely
yeah, yeah. Let's do it.
do that
Let's
and
do
do
it.
like an interview for Creep Show.
Let's do it.
Okay, sweet, sweet.
Awesome,
Thank
man.
thank thank you again, man.
My
Thanks for
pleasure. My pleasure. Have a great
all
one,
right,
man.
buddy. Have a good one.
Take care.
Bye.